So right now it looks ever more likely that we're going to have Amir Khan and Terence Crawford facing instead of Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Here are my thoughts on this. Now, I've already made a video when this fight was first kind of getting talked about, and I kind of gave my thoughts on that. But what I want to talk about is basically people are saying now that it's Amir Khan ducking Kell Brook yet again. And to a large extent it is. For whatever reason, Amir Khan just does not want to fight Kell Brook. I don't think he's afraid to fight Kell Brook because he's fought much better. He's fought better opponents who hit harder and are stronger, like your Canelo Alvarez. And I don't think Amir Khan is necessarily scared to face Kell Brook, but I think that for whatever reason, he just really doesn't want to have this Kell Brook fight. Maybe he doesn't want to give Kell Brook the payday. Maybe it's his ego. And I think the thing with Amir Khan is he's so ego driven that he would rather fight a Canelo Alvarez knowing that it's very, very, very unlikely he'll win just because he believes he can win, because he believes he's that much better. And I think that the reason why he doesn't want to fight Kell Brook, or the reason he's been avoiding it, is that I think in his head, and I could be completely wrong here, but I think in Amir Khan's head, he kind of has it in his mind that in terms of like the welterweights or the kind of, light middleweights, welterweights, light welters, he's the man. He's the number one guy in the UK. And, he, in his own head, and this is what I'm thinking, I could be completely wrong, that he thinks that, there's no one around who could touch him. The Ricky Hattons of the world couldn't touch him, stuff like that. But if someone like a Kell Brook was to go in there and spark Amir Khan, which I think he would, then, that's got to cripple Amir Khan's ego. Maybe that's what he thinks. He wants to be the UK's number one in that kind of weight bracket. And the thoughts of getting in the ring with Kell Brook and losing to him, it's not worth it. And Amir Khan is so ego-driven that he would give up paydays. And he would take, pay cuts to fight bigger, stronger guys or much better guys than Kell Brook, just to avoid that. And I think this could be what he's doing here. He's done it with Canelo a couple of years back, and we saw what happened there. I think it took a few years off his life, that knockout. And we have it here now with Terence Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan, that is an interesting fight. To me, that's a tougher fight for Amir Khan than a Kell Brook, because Terence Crawford is leagues above Kell Brook. Terence Crawford, for my money, is the number one welterweight and the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. I mean, between him and Lomachenko, there's no touching these two guys. That being said, I think that Terence Crawford, his style would actually suit Amir Khan more than a Kell Brook, if you know what I mean. Because Terence Crawford, he really loves boxing your head. He boxes your head off. He's very technical. He's very precise. He loves switching. And I think Terence Crawford, actually, if this fight does happen, I think he'll want to avoid switching. I think he'll want to stay orthodox because Amir Khan's been very good against southpaws. So I think this is just a little bit of kind of pre-fight talk. If I was in Terence Crawford's corner, I'd be saying, do not switch hitting this fight. Stay orthodox the whole fight. But Terence Crawford will try and box Amir Khan. And Amir Khan likes guys to try and box him. It's the pressure he doesn't like. He didn't like the pressure from Danny Garcia. To be fair, Brea's Prescott, I think the guy's name was, didn't really pressure him. He hit him with a left hook and Amir Khan his legs went, basically. Canelo, when he started putting on the pressure going to the body, that was when he was having his issues. Chris Algieri, who's not normally a pressure fighter, he was pressuring Amir Khan. He was hurting him. And it's that Chris Algieri fight that kind of makes me really kind of wonder, when, not if, with Terence Crawford. Because Terence Crawford, he's not the biggest puncher at welterweight. Let's not beat around the bush here. But he wants his knockouts. He wants the knockouts, and he won't stop until he gets you out of there. And with Amir Khan, he's so vulnerable around the chin that Chris Algieri, a guy who has, 7, 8 knockouts on his record, and he's had over 20 fights, could hurt him. And he did hurt him a couple of times in that fight. Terence Crawford hits a lot harder than Chris Algieri, and some of them shots that Chris Algieri was hitting him with were counter shots. Terence Crawford can counter punch. I just don't see how Amir Khan can win this fight, but I think I can see the reasons why he's taking this fight, because a loss to Canelo as opposed to a loss to Kell Brook doesn't hurt your legacy as much. A loss to Terence Crawford as opposed to Kell Brook doesn't really hurt, because these are the top of the top, the best of the best, the elites of boxing you're losing to. Canelo, a lot of people thought he was ahead in that fight. I watched that fight several times. I gave Khan the first 2 rounds in that fight, and I gave Kell the other 3. But yeah, he gave a good account of himself until he got knocked out. and I think he'll give a good account of himself in this Crawford fight if it happens. But Amir Khan, that chin is an issue. That physical strength is an issue because he's a very weak fighter physically, very weak. And yeah, I think that although he might have some success against Crawford, I expect him to get dealt with. I think at this stage in Amir Khan's career, the inactivity, the beatings he's taken, and he has taken some beatings, and just the shots to the head, I think that Amir Khan, he's explosive early on, he's fast early on, but I think, if you can just bring him into the later stage, he was there. Put it like this, I think it was the 10th round against Samuel Vargas. Samuel Vargas hurt Amir Khan, and only it was the end of the round that Amir Khan was holding on. That could have, changed the whole complex of the fight, the whole course the fight was taken. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this. I think that if and when this fight gets announced, I'll make Terence Crawford favourite, and I will pick Terence Crawford to beat Amir Khan. But I can see why Amir Khan's taken this fight. And is it a duck of Kell Brook? Yeah, but at this stage, most boxing fans are used to it now at this stage, that Amir Khan just does not want to fight Kell Brook for whatever reason. And, I think at this stage you can just say it is what it is, because I don't want Amir Khan and Kell Brook to fight when they're both completely shot, because then it just takes the fun out of it. I'd rather them fight this year, but we'll have to wait and see. It depends on how both look in their next fights. Kell Brook hasn't announced his. If Khan fights Crawford, depends how he looks. He could get absolutely devastatingly knocked out and need another year or two off. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this. As always, please leave your thoughts down below. I love reading the comments. And yeah, I'll talk to you after.